Hey there my friends, Susan here with Pumpkin Hill Stampers. I have a Stampin' Show and Tell for you today, but the first thing I'm going to show and tell you about is this new Designer Series paper pack that is in the fall catalog. This one's called Splendid Autumn. It's a 6x6 pack, and they've got some really nice autumn images. So I just wanted to showcase them before I started the project today. So as you can see, we've got lots of fall colors, and I'm just going to kind of highlight them one by one for you so you can get a look at them. So this one's got some fun trees, and then we've got some really fun fall daisies. We've got some more trees. I like the watercolor wash about this. There's a nice scene with an evening sky. Then we've got some purple flowers, right? We've got the fall wheat fields. Here's another landscape with a lot of sky, right, with some detail down below. This one I think is really cool with these dark cherry cobbler leaves, right? All of my fall trees are turning right now, so I've got some bright red in my backyard as well. Here is another fun landscape. More trees. Something sticky on there too. More trees. Another landscape. This one kind of looks like maybe they're flowers or maybe they're even like a pumpkin field, so use your imagination there. And then we've got this fun one with the bright bold flowers. Now on the flip side, we've got all these fall colors in kind of a muted pattern on the back, but they're nice solid colors, and they all coordinate with the colors in the paper. So look at all these fun colors you can play with in your fall palette. So I think that's pretty awesome. Okay, so I'll definitely be using these, especially in my next fun fold projects, I think for probably November's projects. I'm going to use some of those papers. Okay, so again, that's called Splendid Autumn. So for today, I'm going to be using this piece, right? Some of this fun crushed curry and some of that fun cherry cobbler color. So what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to case one of my projects that I did with my Designer Series paper last year. I believe this one was sketch number 5. So I'm kind of going to mimic the dimensions of that, but make a new card. Okay, so I've got cherry cobbler as my background, and I just have a 5.5 by 4 1/4 piece, and that's just going to be a mount. Then I've got a piece of Very Vanilla. Now I cut it at 4 by 10.5, so when you fold it in half, it's 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, and that's going to go on my card like this. Okay, so we're going to step it in. And then I've got 2 pieces of Designer Series paper. Now watch. This both came from this piece. Here's the one on this side, and then here's the one from this side. Okay, so I took 2 different cuts from the same paper, and I'm going to use them on my project, but I'm going to actually flip this one over and use the crushed curry as a background. So in my original Designer Series paper project, I had a 5.5 by 5 1/4 by 2.5 piece up and down. Then I had my other sketch had 2 pieces coming behind, but I'm using full square this time. That's going to come in behind, and then it calls for a 1 by 3.5 banner. Now I'm going to use Iconic Imagery as my stamp set today, and I've got these 2 dies that come with coordinating dies that I'm using. So instead of a thin 1 by 3.5 banner, I'm going to replace it with some die cuts and stamp my sentiment on there. Okay? So I'm actually going to make this a fall card. I'm going to use the word grateful and the words for you, which I've got mounted on one block so I can stamp those together. Okay, so let's go ahead and make a card. So I was playing with the parts and pieces, and so everything kind of steps in, right, from that background mount. And I've got my main focal point I'm gonna run this one down the center, right? You could be off to the side if you wanted to, but I'm gonna run this one down the center. I just feel like being symmetrical today. And then this one's gonna slide underneath. Now if you wanted to save paper or you just had scraps, you could just take 3/4 inch scraps and put 1 on each side. You totally can save paper that way. Today I'm just gonna go ahead and use the full square of paper. And then I'm gonna put my sentiment on, and I'm going to pop up the For You, I think, on the secondary one. And then I've got this fun cherry cobbler ribbon that's also in the fall catalog, which I want to use on here as well. Now, I laid all this out before I started my video so I could kind of have an idea of what I wanted to share and how I wanted to put it together, which is always a good idea. Be prepared, right? But I decided I didn't like this plain vanilla flat area behind. So what I did was I took my stepped in cardstock and I ran it through my embossing folder for exposed brick. And so now here is the front of the card I'm going to use. Okay, so that's going to go on just like that. And we're going to build it up like I was just showing you. Alright, so let's put it together. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on this stepped in card base. So I'm just going to run some adhesive around the edges, maybe some down the middle as well for good measure. And I'm just going to position that on my quarter sheet cardstock mount. So just like that. Okay, now from there we're going to do our stepped in. So this is going to go down the middle, but before that I need to put this one on. So I'm just going to use that complementary color, splash of color behind. So I'm just going to put that on and then I'll put this over the top. So this is going on like this. So I've got my left and right spacing and my top and bottom spacing. And then I'm going to flip this one over and get this all with adhesive and then put this right down the center of my project. Now if you wanted to step these in more, you could just trim them down a little bit, but I decided just to trim it down from my mount and not these pieces on top. I wanted that full cherry cobbler tree in there as much as I can do. Alright, so there's that. Let's do some stamping with our sentiments. So again, these came from the iconic Imagery stamp set. And I'm stamping with cherry cobbler, keeping my colors simple. Alright, so I'm going to stamp grateful here. Then we're going to try the For You on the skinnier one. Try to get enough ink on there. I'm going to do a practice test. Okay, good. So ink it all up. I'm going to try to get it on the center. There we go. Alright, so my idea is that I'll put one down and then the ribbon and then I'll pop this one up underneath. Okay, so since I'm going to put ribbon on there, I'm going to just adhere this one flat. Try not to get too thick in case I decide to mail the card. Okay, so this one's going to go on like here. So you see I'm bracketing kind of all this space. Now you could put this anywhere along that border you wanted to. I just happen to be putting mine down here today. Alright, now I've got my cherry cobbler ribbon, so I'm going to take this through the center of the card, bring it up to the top. Now usually I think, do I want to make a bow or do I want to just tie it off? I think maybe I do want to make a bow. So I'm going to give myself some extra ribbon to work with and just trim this off over here. We'll see if I gave myself enough. Okay, sometimes I cut way too much and sometimes I'm just a little bit shy, but if I'm shy we'll just do a simple bow knot. Not a big deal. Alright, so there's that. Now I probably want to put a glue dot down just to hold that where I want to tie it. So I'm just going to take a simple glue dot and I'm going to put this over here. So I'm going to put my bow knot on that side. Let's make that there. Now from here I'm going to put this one on with dimensionals just over the top and just let a little bit of that ribbon show. So kind of using the ribbon like a border. Right, and it's got this fun coppery edge to it, which is a fun fall color embellishment as well. So this is going to go on like this. Okay, so now other than tying that bow, we're pretty much done. Now oftentimes I tie my bows upside down. It's one of those tricks of the trade you learn along the way, so I'm just tying a simple knot. Let's see. Tie a knot. Snug that up, and I just want to attach it close to my ribbon. So wiggling all around. Alright, close to my ribbon. Now let's see if I can get a little bow in here. Come on, work for me. Nope, not gonna work for me. Alright, let's try again. Whoa. Alright. Not. And then 2 bunny ears to make my bow if it's gonna work. Bunny ear. Bunny ear. It's a very satiny ribbon. It's very slick to work with. Let's see if we can get it. I really want to get it. Yes? Oh, good. Alright. I've got my bow. Now I just need to tighten it up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to pull that, and I'm going to stretch this back down again. If I can get that little tie. Just pull it a little bit smaller. I don't even care, that's a little wonky, that's fine. Alright, and then I'm just going to trim this end off so it's short like the other one. And there we go. We've got our bow, a little bit of bling, and our sentiment on there, and I'm happy with that. So I hope you enjoyed this quick little project. I hope you a little introduction to the new Designer Spirit Designer paper for Splendid Autumn is something you enjoyed as well. And if you need any help, let me know. Leave a comment, let me know you were here today. That always makes my day a little brighter after I've posted a video. And I hope you do some fun stamping. So until next time, have fun with all your stuff.